Hi, I'm Andrea Graves, Director of Operations at the Retirement Education Center. And we want to thank you for tuning in to our Retirement Education Center Tuesday Tips. We created our Tuesday Tips in order to provide you with quick, simple ideas to help you reach your retirement goals. For additional concepts on how to maximize your retirement income, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when we upload new videos.
Hi, my name is Carson Graves, President and CEO of the Retirement Education Center, and I want to welcome you once again to our Tuesday Tip, where today we're going to be talking about a very important piece of legislation that was recently passed, known as the Secure Act 2.0. Now, this new piece of legislation, the Secure Act 2.0, is basically a piggyback off of the Secure Act 1.0. Now, both of these pieces of legislation was implemented due to the fact that there has been a heightened awareness that many Americans are just not saving enough for retirement. It has also been noted that many Americans don't even have enough money to meet a $400 emergency. So, of course, Congress got together on this bipartisan bill to help people save more money for their retirement. And we're going to talk about some of the highlights of this bill and some of the things that you're going to need to be aware of and take advantage of if you can. So stay locked in. Now, the first thing that I want to point out in today's tip is that there are big changes coming to the required minimum distributions. Now, just like the Secure Act 1.0 that actually increased your required minimum distribution age from age 70 and a half to age 72, well, 2.0 takes it one step further. Now, your required minimum distributions will increase to age 73 in 2023. So just be aware that if you do turn age 72 in 2023, your new required minimum distribution will be age 73. And that is going to increase to age 75 in the year 2033. Now, I do want to make note of that if you have already turned the age of 72 in 2022 or earlier, you will still need to continue taking your required minimum distributions. You cannot suspend that and delay those distributions if you're already 72 in 2022 or earlier. But if you have turned 72 in 2023 and you've scheduled your required minimum distributions, you can consider changing that now, and you can delay that distribution for a later date. Another thing that is really, really important that I think that everybody should be applauding, that I think was already just way too stiff of a penalty, was failing to take your required minimum distribution at the allotted time. That penalty is going to decrease from 50% to 25%. And if you're able to file a corrected tax return and take the corrected amount within a 2-year time frame, that can be reduced to 10%. So just imagine a penalty from 50% down to 10%. I think that is a very, very important and welcome change that every retiree should be thankful for, because sometimes you can overlook taking those distributions, and I think a 50% excise tax was just way too punitive for that particular situation. Also, starting in 2024, Roth accounts in your employer retirement plans will be exempt from the required minimum distribution. Now, recall, previously, if you had a Roth 401k, you had to literally roll that over into an individual Roth account in order to avoid the required minimum distribution from that account. So now, if you do have that 401k, that is going to be exempt. You no longer have to do that and skirt around the fact of having that Roth 401k be subjected to the same rules as your qualified 401k. Another important notation that I want to make, that if you're receiving an in-plan annuity payment and that payment is actually more than your required distribution amount from your qualified plan, then that amount that's in excess of the amount that you're needing to take will be carried forward to the next year RMD amount. So these are some really unique and important changes that the Secure Act 2.0 is bringing to the table. The second part of the Secure Act 2.0 that I want to highlight are the higher catch-up contributions. I think this is also important because we need to save more starting in 2025, January 1st, 2025. If you're the age of 60 to 63, you will be able to make a catch-up contributions of $10,000 annually to your retirement account. Now, if you are 50 and older in 2023, that amount has increased to $7,500 annually from the previous amount of $6,500. So we know that the catch-up contributions are increasing, but when you hit the ages of 60 to 63 now, due to the Secure Act in 2025, you will be able to contribute $10,000 annually during those time frames. Now, there is one caveat to these catch-up contributions that the Secure Act brought about. If you earn more than $145,000 in a year, all of your catch-up contributions must go into a Roth account, an after-tax account. If you make below that, you can have those dollars go into your qualified retirement account just like before. But just make note that if you do make over $145,000 a year, that money must go into an after-tax Roth account. But remember, when that money comes out, it's going to come out tax-free as well. Another big change is that if you have a Roth account, your employer can now make matching contributions to that Roth account. Prior to the Secure Act, there was no ability for your employer to make matching contributions to a Roth account. Now that is going to be a change. So what does that mean? Now you can place those dollars into a Roth account and receive a match from your employer. Now, some of these changes are going to have to be implemented by your employer. This probably won't be immediately, but you're going to want to make sure that you stay on top of this, because I think this is going to be a really good thing for anybody who has a Roth account and they're contributing to it, to also be able to receive a match from their employer as well. Now, the last part about the Secure Act 2.0 that I do want to cover are for people who have years left to their retirement date. Now, one of the things that you're going to be aware of is that your employer is going to be able to automatically enroll you into their retirement plan. This is going to start in 2025, and there's going to be a default rate of 3% to 10%. And it's going to increase incrementally every year of 1% up to a maximum of 15%. Now, you can't opt out of this automatic default rate contribution into the 401k plan, the retirement plan that you are actually able to do. But I would highly encourage people not to do that. The reason why we would say not to opt out of this automatic enrollment, unless you feel like it's more than what you can do. So if they opt you in at 10%, then maybe you opt in at 3%. But other than that, you want to opt into your retirement plan, because the legislation of the Secure Act 1.0 and 2.0 ultimate goal is to help people save more. And studies have shown that, many people do not participate in their retirement plan, but they're more likely to stay participating if they are actually automatically enrolled into said plan. So it's very critical that this is an element of the Secure Act 2.0, and it's also critical that you take it seriously to stay into your 401k or into the 403b, whatever plan that you have, because it's going to help you in the back end of your retirement years. Another major role of the Secure Act 2.0 is to create an emergency savings starting in 2024 within your defined contribution retirement plans. Now here, your employer can add an emergency savings account for you that will be designated as a Roth account. Now this is going to be limited to $2,500 annually. They can match inside of that particular savings account for you, but only up to $2,500. Now, the biggest part about this is that, yes, it's going to keep your hands out of the cookie jar from hopping into your qualified retirement savings and risking getting hit with that 10% early withdrawal penalty or even taxation on those dollars. But you're only going to be allowed 4 withdrawals per year, and those withdrawals are going to be tax-free and penalty-free. So that's very, very important. But it's not something that you want to just continue to dip your hands into. But it is going to allow people who maybe can't really save on their own, or they don't have the discipline to do so, to have an emergency savings tied in with their retirement account. The other big thing about the Secure Act 2.0 is that those of us with student loan debt, and there are millions of Americans who are absolutely, of course, burdened by student loan debt, and they have to make a compromising decision of either paying into their 401k or retirement plan or trying to pay down their student loan debt. Well, this is no longer the case with the Secure Act 2.0, because starting in 2024, employers are going to be able to match employees who have student loan debt and they're trying to pay it off. They're going to be able to match you within that 401k of the amount that you're paying towards that student loan debt. This is a very, very big implementation for those of us who are trying to save for retirement, but also knock down that student loan debt. So make sure that you look out for this in 2024, and also make sure you go to your employer and ask them if they're participating in this particular provision. Now, the last major development that I do want to cover about the Secure Act 2.0 is the change to the 529 plans. This is really major that I have taken note of. Now, after 15 years, if you actually have assets in a 529 plan, you can now roll that money over into a Roth IRA for the beneficiary. Now, understand, before this, if your beneficiary decided not to go to college, or they received a scholarship and you didn't have any use for those 529 plan assets, you would have to have taken that money out for a non-qualified educational expense. And of course, when you do that, you will be hit with a penalty for using those dollars other than for a qualified educational expense. Now, with the Secure Act 2.0, that is no longer the case. That means that after 15 years of having that money, if your child gets a scholarship or they no longer want to go to college, you don't have to make a compromising decision to get penalized on those funds, but you can actually roll it over into a Roth IRA up to a lifetime limit of $35,000. And who knows, that may increase over time. But that is a very good start, and I think that is going to be very helpful to millions of people out there who are trying to save for college, but are also a little bit leery about putting money towards a 529 plan due to those restrictions that were once in place. So these are some very significant changes that I think millions of people who are trying to save for retirement and save for kids' education are going to definitely take note of and take advantage of as well. So I really do hope that the information that I shared with you today regarding the Secure Act 2.0 will be helpful in helping you plan moving forward throughout your retirement years. Please note that these videos are created for educational purposes only, and that you should always seek out your own retirement advisor, your own tax advisor, and your own attorney regarding your personal situation. Also, if you are looking for a fiduciary financial advisor to help you with these types of complex financial matters, we highly recommend that you utilize the links in our description below and go ahead and schedule a 1-hour free consultation with us today. And if you found this information beneficial, we ask that you subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it with others.